Acidification and its effect on Pacific Island corals. Acidification is the uptake of CO2 by the oceans, which then dissolves into carbonic acid, decreasing the ocean's pH value, making it more acidic. This is mainly due to the human activities via the burning of fossil fuels and other forms of production of enormous amounts of greenhouse gases, CO2. Coastal waters exhibit higher frequency variability in acidification as well as shorter-term events, more so than in the open ocean, due to additional human and natural influence. Thus, acidification will continue to occur more frequently in these areas in the prolonged future. Pacific Islands are specifically vulnerable to these changes in acidification since smaller and developing countries are more impacted due to their economics reliance on these ecosystems. The negative effects on the coral reefs that they rely on especially impact their livelihoods, fisheries, tourism, coastal protection, etc. Acidification will heavily impact coral reefs, reducing their calcification rate, which will affect their formation, growth, maintenance, and weaken overall structural integrity, as well as increasing their rates of coral bleaching. Fish populations heavily depend on these coral reefs, and once gone, so are the fish. Therefore, less availability in fish biomass available amongst local fisheries in these areas. Coastal tourism is highly dependent on good climate and it's vulnerable to changes in climate. Coral reefs also protect these communities from the devastating effects from weather disasters such as storms and floods. In the Pacific Islands, changes to the atmosphere and ocean will likely decrease the coral reef fisheries by 20% by 2050. The resulting economic damage from the effects of acidification on coral reefs was estimated in 2021 to be $870 billion US for the A1 SRES emission scenario and US $528 billion for the B2 SRES emission scenario. This is a large number considering that this will affect small countries. It will take up a significant amount of GDP. On a positive note, Australia has been implementing climate-resilient coastal adaptation strategies, which focus on a disaster reduction in both local communities and in the surrounding ecosystems.